In junior exhibitor classes, the hunter horse must be suitable to its rider, safe, pleasant, mild-mannered, and show complete cooperation. In ladies' classes, it's important to have an overall impression of elegance, refinement, smoothness, and willingness to obey all commands. The amateur horse should have the same light mouth and willing attitude of the lady and junior exhibitor horse, but may be somewhat stronger. The hunter pleasure horse should have ground covering gaits that would be comfortable for horse and rider over extended periods of time. He must have impeccable manners and must clearly enjoy his work. The gaits to be shown include the walk, which should be flat-footed and free-moving, and the horse should exhibit the ability to cover ground with ease and should require minimal restraint. The trot should be easygoing and relaxed and must demonstrate a balanced and ground-covering way of going, with a slight flexion at the pole and a pleasant and interested attitude. Horses should work with light contact on the bit. The extended trot should be bold, energetic, balanced, and ground-covering, with a definite lengthening of stride, resulting in an increase in speed without a sense of racing or straining. The horse must remain light, and the horse must demonstrate a complete acceptance of control without resistance at all times. The canter should be smooth, comfortable, ground covering, and straight on both leads, with a definite 3-beat cadence. Transitions must be clean and effortless, without anticipation. The extended canter should be ground covering, free moving, and smooth, without extreme speed. Classic pleasure. The classic pleasure horse should be calm, mild-mannered, safe, a using pleasure horse. He should demonstrate flawless manners and be absolutely agreeable to the commands and directions of the rider or driver. He should at all times work on a very light rein, without resistance, and with only light contact on the bit. Although he should be athletic and may be energetic, he should at all times demonstrate a quiet, calm, and extremely tractable attitude. Horses indicating aggressiveness, over-collection, or excess animation shall be severely penalized. The flight path of the foot should be that of a relaxed, using pleasure horse, and any motion or action resulting from shoeing is to be penalized. The judge may at his discretion penalize excessive use of aids or appliances such as severe bits. Emphasis should be placed on the walk and ease of transition from one gait to another. All horses being considered for a ribbon must back readily. The walk of the classic pleasure horse must be flat-footed, free, rapid, elastic, and ground covering, with a 4-beat cadence. The pleasure trot should be a pleasant, easygoing trot with elasticity and freedom of movement. There should be light contact with the mouth, slight flexion at the pole, without evidence of undue restraint. The road trot should be a balanced trot, maintaining free forward impulsion, with sufficient speed to be ground covering, but with collection enough to allow the horse to maintain the gait at speed for an extended period of time. Form should not be sacrificed for speed, and excessive speed at the expense of form or balance should be penalized. The canter should be slow, smooth, collected, straight on both leads, and with a definite 3-beat cadence. Transition from one gait to another should be smooth and effortless, at the will of the rider, without anticipation on the part of the horse. At all gaits and in all classes, The classic pleasure horse shall give the appearance that he enjoys the work he is doing and that he is indeed a pleasure to ride. Classic pleasure driving. The classic pleasure driving horse should have basically the same qualifications as the classic pleasure saddle horse. The horse should have a free way of moving. The check rein should not interfere with the relaxed and free way of going. Light contact with the mouth should be maintained without evidence of undue restraint. The classic pleasure driving horse must exhibit impeccable manners with a bright, deliberate, willing performance on a light rein. The walk, pleasure trot, and road trot should have the same specifications as the classic English pleasure horse. The walk should be flat-footed, free, rapid, elastic, and ground-covering with a 4-beat cadence. The pleasure trot should be pleasant and easy-going trot with elasticity and freedom of movement. There should be light contact with the mouth, slight flexion at the pole, without evidence of undue restraint. The road trot should be a balanced trot, maintaining free forward impulsion with sufficient speed to be ground covering, but with collection enough to allow the horse to maintain the gait at speed for an extended period of time. Form should not be sacrificed for speed, and excessive speed at the expense of form or balance should be penalized. Roadster. When considering type in Morgan Roadster classes, care must be taken to see that Morgan type is the criteria being considered. The principal assignment for the Roadster is the trot. They shall be asked to trot 3 distinctive speeds: the jog trot, the road gait, and then at speed. At all speeds they shall work in form with their heads set and their legs working beneath them. The trot should be balanced. Long sprawling action in front, dragging or trailing hind legs, and spraddle-gaited behind makes a balanced trot impossible and must be penalized by the judge. Animation, action, brilliance, and show-ring presence should characterize the Roadster in working at a jog or road gait. When asked to go at speed, the horse must show speed and go in form. Although speed is of great importance, horses that pace, break, or run on the turns must be severely penalized. The Roadster shall enter the ring clockwise at a jog, and will show clockwise at the jog and road gait. At the direction of the judge, they will reverse and show at the jog, road gait, and at speed. Horses should be shown on the rail at all times, except when passing, and should go to the far end of every corner without side reining. They should be light-mouthed, capable of being taken up at any time. The Roadster horse must stand while being judged in the lineup. The header is allowed in junior exhibitor, amateur, and ladies classes only. The information contained in this program has been a guide to understanding and judging the Morgan horse in a variety of horse show disciplines. Specific rules and class descriptions for particular divisions are detailed in the USA Equestrian Rulebook and the American Morgan Horse Association Judging Standards booklet. The addresses for those associations follow. This film was made possible through several individual contributions and a generous grant given by Peggy Alderman, Rick Lane, and Rick Stevens from the proceeds of the Remember November sale.